Get ready for the dictation. Start. Sipping through a cup of aromatic black coffee, looking out of the life size glass window of a world class corporate skyscraper as a new age Indian questions the contribution of our forefathers. Little does he consider to revisit the history lessons that anyway seemed pretty heavy, then hence chooses to continue living in denial. Intrigued by the amount of freedom bestowed upon us, which gives us the liberty to question even the incredible mentors of our nation, whom this freedom is to be attributed today. Another contemporary Indian, a thinker, begins to put together a compilation of facts to acknowledge the vast historical background that our present state of freedom has. It was after exhaustive brainwork driven by the wisdom and first hand experiences of our forefathers at various stages through half a century that a tangible document could be arrived at. Each word of this magical document called the Constitution of India has been inked with the grind of Indian people's blood and flesh that had seen discrimination, abuse, torment, misery, bondage like none other. Hence, it goes beyond being a mere document and has stood the tests of time. The beautiful fact that it is a living document has become even more pertinent in these times of socio ideological conflicts as India transitions from a developing to being a developed nation, and so the ambit of this living constitution goes far deep beyond its conventional interpretation, and the hidden charisma therein needs to be realized by each of us citizens. The soul of the constitution lies in its subjects, its people. Having its spine firm, the constitution is as alive as can be over the decades, having adapted to the altering needs of the fifth generation living by it at the moment. The implications of perusal and amendments are reflective in our day-to-day lifestyle. A number of 104 amendments by our legislators testify the fact that the vision of its principal draftsman Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was crystal clear when he said, however good a constitution may be, it is sure to turn out bad because those who are called to work it happen to be a bad lot. However bad a constitution may be, it may turn out good if those who are called to work it happen to be a good lot. It may be interesting to note for a lay leader that the first ever document with a constitutional vision ever written for India was the Constitution of India Bill 1895, popularly known as the Swaraj Bill, having at its core Bal Gangadhar Tilak's Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it, written in a legal style comprised of 110 articles that first endeavored to ensure various individual rights, formally per se right to free speech, right to property, equality before law, etc. It even for the first time made a mention of nationalists' vision of separation of power so as to achieve efficient governance of a country as diverse and vast as India, interestingly quite similar to what later stood as different verticals of governance as it purported the Constitution of India shall be divided into four power viz the sovereign power, the legislative power, the judicial power, the executive power. However, contrastingly vested all the four powers within the Parliament of India being supreme, also held the judicial and executive powers as subordinate to the legislative, where on one hand the bill resolved to require all citizens to bear arms to defend the nation against the enemies within and without, it undertook to ensure judicious usage of those by upholding the virtue of law that would drive each act of the citizens. Stop.